Versatility, you're in here early. Genetic, how are you? Red, what's going on? Mr. Bob Dylan, how are you? KC, what's up? Lou, what's up? Breslow is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Big news. Knicks beat the lousy Celtics today. Yeah, we'll see in the postseason. What are we going to talk about tonight, chat? Not like any big news came out today or anything. Not like really got anything to talk about. Not like we got a whole lot to talk about. I feel like my camera's off-centered. Looks a little off-centered, doesn't it? Or maybe it's on-center and I've just been off-centered for a while. I don't know. It looks different. What do you think? First move Breslow makes. I hope it's an extension. Honestly, probably the first move that we make is probably getting in some coaching. We'll probably get a pitching coach pretty quickly here. What's going on, Prodigy? Long time no see. We'll probably see that. And that'll probably be pretty quick. What's going on? What's going on, Prodigy? I think it'll be pitching coach pretty quickly. I think one of the big points of bringing in Breslow is to improve the pitching as a whole for the entire organization. So my guess would be probably a pitching coach would be the first Breslow move. In terms of actual players on the field, I would guess it's an extension of some sort. Hopefully, look, I need 20 hours of sleep. I could use 20 hours of sleep. Hopefully it's an extension of one Tristan Casas. That would be my first move. But we'll see. Story just came out about Soto to the Yankees. It was written by a New York beat reporter who only talks about the Yankees. It's also a guy who's kind of notorious for just throwing names against the Yankees, essentially, wall and seeing if it sticks. So I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Versatility. Wonder if Cora will have a lot of say in the player moves / trades. I wouldn't say a lot. I would say some. What's up, Rocket? Appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. Appreciate you stopping by this, too. Dallas fan, or fan in Dallas. I love the Red Sox Nation. Extends to everywhere in the world. So cool. Yeah, I think Cora will have some say, but I don't think we're going to see, like in Texas with Houston, Dusty Baker flat out vetoed trades. I don't think, at least on the surface, that Cora can flat out veto trades. I think, his opinion is going to be extremely valuable to the organization. I don't think he will be the one to come in here and say, no, we're not doing this. Anthony with one gifted sub. What's going on, Anthony? We had some claps in the chat for Anthony. Always helping the community out by gifting some subs. CW, welcome to the membership. You're going to have a lot of fun this month. Can we get some claps in the chat for Anthony? Oh, let's get that off so you don't hear that twice. I heard that Dusty Baker is retiring. I did see that. It'll be sad to not have baseball without it'll be sad to see baseball without Dusty Baker. That's what I was talking about. Soto was dancing with Tex, so he's obligated to come to the Red Sox. I heard that's how that works. What are your thoughts of Craig Breslow as a new GM? I'm excited. I am excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I think that's sort of where most fans are, right? Looking at Craig Breslow's background and the way he operates and the way he looks at the game of baseball is really exciting, right? To have someone who played in Major League Baseball, not just a short stint, not just a couple of years, but as a pretty prominent left-handed reliever for over a decade, right, it is an exciting thing to have because not only does he understand the game of baseball, because obviously anyone who makes it to Major League Baseball has a great understanding of the game, but to survive in Major League Baseball for over a decade, that gives you an entirely different perspective that next to nobody has, right? There are very, very, very few players throughout history that have made it 12 years in Major League Baseball. So I really like that. I love the idea of bringing in someone who's fresh, who's hungry, not only to prove himself as a baseball operative, but to prove himself as a baseball operative in his hometown where he lives and with the city he won a World Series championship makes me excited. I love the idea of what he's been able to do in Chicago, essentially translating is a really poor word for it, but incorporating analytics in a way that other people can understand, because again, he understands it at a very high volume. For him to come in and be that person, I'm excited. I also think there is some level of concern, obviously, with Craig Breslow taking over because of that lack of experience, right? He has had experience with day-to-day operations in trades, free agents, 40-man roster decisions, waiver claims, right? He has experience in all of that, but he's never been the one who ultimately decides yes or no. So I'm excited. I'm also a little bit nervous. What do you think ends up with Doogie? I think he gets traded. You have a knowing calculus exam tomorrow at 8 a.m.? Well, you better get studying. What's up, Eamon? How you doing, my friend? You excited? Nervous? Chat, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? What's up, Colt? Does this mean Yamamoto is a lock, or would you rather have Nola? Like, if we only got one, what is your one? My one is 1,000% Yamamoto. 1,000% Yamamoto. It is, without a doubt, the most targeted and highly coveted pitching free agent on the market right now. Yeah, pitching will probably be the forefront, Carl, but that doesn't mean you negate, right? To me, the Soto thing's interesting, right? Because when people say that he does not fit with this team, you're probably right? Juan Soto doesn't make a ton of sense for the Boston Red Sox, but it's also Juan freaking Soto, right? He's a top 5, top 10 hitter in Major League Baseball, has the potential to be a first ballot Hall of Fame type bat. And you're going to say, oh, no, we got too many lefties. Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know where you put him in the outfield, right? That's the type of guy you make room for. So while the focus of the offseason will more than likely be pitching, you gotta be open to opportunities like Juan Soto is the opportunity, right? But you got to be open to all opportunities, or you risk not improving other areas of your team, because you can use help in other areas, right? You need a right-handed power bat. Second base could be upgraded, right? What are you going to do with the surplus of young, possibly really talented outfielders, right? There are other questions aside from pitching that you need to focus on, but yeah, pitching will be a focus for sure. Welcome to the Craig Breslow live chat. Yeah, that's essentially what it's going to be. Do you think the Red Sox can make a playoff berth? Yeah. I mean, if they make the right moves, again, last year they weren't far off. Things fell off hard at the end, and it was hard to watch, right? But you had 4 out of the 6 months of playing baseball where you were right in the mix. You get a couple of starters, you solidify that back end of your bullpen, and you figure out the defense a little bit, and all of a sudden you're a competitive team. I don't know about winning the division competitive, but I think playoff berth competitive, yeah. You think Cora will have a lot of power over ownership? I think, Christian, I answered this a little bit earlier. I don't know if you heard or not. I think Cora will have influence. I don't know about ultimate power. I don't think he'll have ultimate power. I don't think, there was a story when James Click left the Houston Astros where he had a lot of issues with ownership being too involved, and a lot of issues with management because of the fact that Dusty Baker flat out was vetoing trades and ownership was listening, right? I don't know. Personally, I don't know the situation inside the Red Sox. I don't know if that's what's going on. I don't personally think that is what's going on. I think when you're more so talking about Alex Cora's power in the front office, it's influence, right? They want his opinion to be heard, and they want his opinion to be taken heavily, as opposed to just, okay, let me just, I have to ask the manager, right? They want his input and his expertise. I don't think they would hire someone like Breslow with little to no experience and be like, you got to listen to the manager and everything he says. That just doesn't make sense to me. Hey, Jackson, what's going on? Corbin, would it be smart to trade a ton of the farm for a rental, not knowing if Soto wants to test free agency and not just wait one more year to bid for him, losing? It kind of depends, Lou. Again, if the Padres put him out on the market, right, he's not going to cost as much as a lot of people may think. He's still going to be he's still going to think Mookie Betts, right? The Dodgers, David Price was attached to that for sure, and maybe the Red Sox could look at something like that, maybe take on Yu Darvish's contract or somewhere along those lines. But when you're looking at Juan Soto, you're not looking at 20-year-old Juan Soto with 6 years of under control, right, which would cost you essentially what the Padres sent over for Juan Soto, which was essentially all of their top 100 prospects, right? It's not going to be that anymore. You're talking about a $30 million price tag on his head, and you're talking about 1 year of control. So it depends on what the ultimate price is for him. If the Padres come out and they're asking, they want Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Tristan Casas, or no deal, then yeah, you wait for him to get free agency. If they're sitting there and they're like, listen, we need to get money off the books, we'll take Doogie, we'll take Rafaela, and we'll take Roman Anthony. And then that's where you sort of sit there and you're like, okay, is that something we're willing to risk in order to extend Juan Soto for a $400 million deal? What's up, QB? How are you, my friend? Soto or Ohtani? Ultimately, Ohtani's the bigger impact player, in my opinion, right? If we're talking about true, total impact on a team, the Red Sox need a pitcher when healthy and ready to go. Ohtani's a number one. They need, Ohtani was also the best hitter in Major League Baseball this year, in 2023, right? When he was healthy. But Juan Soto is younger. Juan Soto will have, my opinion, probably around the same price tag, but maybe a little bit lower. And that contract, in my opinion, with Juan Soto versus Shohei Ohtani will age a little bit better. So I would go Soto just based on that. I heard that Cleveland is interested in Verdugo. We trade him and Houck for Shane Bieber. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. When's the Craig Breslow introductory thingy the Sox are doing? It's 11 a.m. next Thursday. Think they'll stay. Oh, Robbie, how you doing, my friend? I forgot to say hello. Think they'll stay internal for the GM position since they went outside for baseball ops. Apparently, what they're doing is they're giving Craig Breslow control over who he's going to make his second in command, GM, a.k.a. If I was Breslow, I'd go internal, right? I would go Eddie Romero, Raquel maybe. I wonder if she'd be interested in a GM position as opposed to the baseball operations position. Question is, does Eddie really want it? But those are the two people that come immediately to mind when I'm talking about internal candidates, because if I'm Craig, I want someone who understands the system, and I want someone who's going to push me a little bit. I think Eddie would push him a little bit. So I would go internal, but it's up to Craig according to sources right now. Chris Cotillo put it out, Alex Spear put it out, so do you think we'll be better, worse, or the same as last year? I think we'll be better. What's up, Craig? Anytime, man. I love talking to you guys about this stuff. What are your thoughts on the Red Sox trade for Glasnow? I would be cautious. Glasnow, I don't think, has had a single year where he hasn't been injured. Obviously, he's immensely talented when he's on the field. And on top of that, too, you got to be careful trading within division, right? Because there's a chance that it comes back and bites you real hard. And getting Glasnow is risky. It would depend on what would the trade look like. It would be pricey for sure. Glasnow's got what, 2 more years of control. You're probably looking at one of our top 5 prospects, and then a couple more on there. Craig, for a Tyler Glasnow type player. Here's a non-Breslow point. Do you think to think about? If we, I'll get to you in a second, Anthony. appreciate you being here 8 months, my friend. Thank you. I heard that a trade of Meyer, Verdugo, and Rafael for Bobby Witt. It's not yet. It's fun to think about. It's not going to happen. Would you consider moving Yoshida to DH, trade Duran, Verdugo, Anthony for Soto left? Yeah, that's the type of thing I'm talking about, right? That's something where I would seriously consider that. But the caveat I think for any team that's going to get Juan Soto is how likely, because you could talk to these players beforehand, right? Thank you, Keith. I love you too. Right? You could talk to these players a little bit beforehand, or maybe you could talk to the front office of San Diego and be like, look, if we're going to trade with you guys, we want, somewhat of an assurance that Juan Soto is at least interested in an extension. Hey, Peter. I think this will be an evaluation year for Breslow. I can't see him guns blazing the first year. He's a smart guy. I mean, that's possible, Peter. It definitely is, but I think he also understands sort of where Red Sox Nation is at right now. I think that there are going to be some bigger splashes because, there's no way ownership went in there and was essentially to Craig was like, look, you can do whatever you want, take your time. Like, they want to win and they want to win now. Ownership is frustrated, but I don't think they understand who they're frustrated at. They should be frustrated themselves. I don't think they are. And what that means to me is I think they're going to go all out, and they want Craig to be at the helm of that. So I understand your point. I just think as part of joining the Boston Red Sox, one of the ownership's point of views was, look, we need to get this thing going, I hate Karinchak. I would not want Karinchak. Why is AC so hands off and not fired for all these last place finishes? Because when you look at the reasons why we've had these last place finishes, it's hard to come back and be like it was Alex Cora, right? And we can get more into that. We've talked about Alex Cora a million times, but that's the reason why, right? It's when you look at a lot of these articles, it's not just me saying this. People are like, "Oh, you're an Alex Cora fanboy," and rightfully, I am an Alex Cora fanboy. I love Alex Cora as the manager for the Red Sox. But it's not just me. It's a lot of people who are connected with the Red Sox understand how valuable Alex Cora is, and people outside of the organization as well have called him a top 5, top 10 manager in baseball. So while he may have played a part in the last place finishes, when you look at the reasons why the Red Sox finished in last place, I don't know if that's enough of a burden to fall on his shoulders to say, okay, I think it's time to move on from Alex Cora. And I think that's why he's still here. And I think that's why we haven't really seen much about his job sort of being on the line. Robbie, Shane Bieber didn't have a great year. I want to see him bounce back before taking a shot on him. Yes and no, right? He didn't have a good year this year, but is that a reason to trade for him because you think he's going to bounce back and his value's at an all-time low? Or do you wait until his value is higher and try and get him in free agency? What about Andrew Bailey for pitching coach? I've seen that a couple of times. Wouldn't be shocked if it happened. Sox should sign Aaronola for a 4-year deal until Bayo's an ace and then go from there. I would hope that if you're getting Aaronola, you're getting more than Aaronola. I like Aaronola. I don't know if he could be a true ace for the Boston Red Sox. I want someone who could be a true ace. Maybe you go trade, maybe you go free agency. But I wouldn't hate Aaronola at all. In fact, I would like to see him sign with the Red Sox. I would just like more on top of that. Anthony, again, 8 months as a member of this channel. Thank you so much for your continued support, Anthony. I truly, truly appreciate it. What would it take to get Tatis righty bat outstanding in the outfield? Preller might be desperate to rebuild on the fly. Oh, baby, do I want to talk about this. I've been avoiding the Tatis stuff. I want to do a Tatis trade video, but I got a buddy who's a Padres YouTuber, essentially does the same thing I do, a little bit differently, but it's along the same lines. And he's like, dude, you're going to get cooked. Padres fans don't want him traded. I really don't think he will be traded. It's like the Dylan Cease, Luis Robert video, right? Where I said everyone was like, no, you can't do that, right? That's essentially what the reaction is going to be. To get Tatis, you're looking at probably Anthony, probably Rafaela, probably Duran. You're looking at a lot. Extend Casas, I'm all in. Johnny, what's going on, my friend? I'd rather explore the free agent market for starting pitchers for the next few years. I'm sure they will. The problem is trading for Soto or Tatis isn't going to keep the farm as strong as you would want. Yeah, versatility. I think that's exactly what they essentially laid down the law here. Has Soto said anything about being traded? No, I don't think he has. Corbin, I have to give you props. I love your Sox passion in your channel. It's the perfect place for fans to discuss ideas and opinions. I appreciate you. Thanks so much, Carl. Thank you. I try to be as dialogue forward as possible. I want you guys to engage as much as I'm engaging, so I try to, unless you're a jerk, and then I'm going to call you out and ban you from the channel. Edward, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for keeping baseball in Boston alive. That is a very high honor, and I appreciate that, but trust me, you guys keep baseball in Boston alive. I do nothing but talk. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's from the Epstein tree. I think it's for him to be hired with no experience, and there were experienced candidates that were still involved, even internally. It must mean they blew him away. Actually, I do have a couple of tweets I wanted to bring up in this live stream about Craig Breslow that we could talk about in a second, but let me catch up here. I think AC got railroaded with the Astros crap. Oh, for sure. Wait, who do you personally think should be the number one free agent or trade target for the Red Sox this offseason? Number one, I would go Yamamoto, free agency, and then trade wise, I would say Corbin Burns. That's sort of where I'm at. Hey, who do you want for free agency? I want Nola. I want a combination of either one of these guys. I want a combination of one of these guys: Yamamoto, Snell, Nola, Lorenzen, Eduardo Rodriguez if he becomes available, maybe, right? So, yeah, it's pitching. It's pitching, and then worry about it when we get there. Let's bring Rich Hill back for a 10th time. I'm in. I would hope he hires Pedroia as the third base coach and field instructor. I'd be all in. I'd be ecstatic if he does. I don't know if he will. And not because he doesn't want to. I don't know if Dustin Pedroia wants to come back yet. Teoscar Hernandez, we need defense. Teoscar would be a good idea for the bat potential, but unless you want to DH him, you still need that defense. Am I going to stream a World Series game? If it aligns with the schedule, we'll see. I'm not. Maybe like a Nate Eovaldi start or something. We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, but do you think it'd be smart for a team to wait till the trade deadline before making Juan Soto type? I don't think it'd be stupid. I don't think it'd be stupid, but at the same time too, the closer he gets to free agency, the less likely you are to extend him. He's already very close, right? It's still going to cost a haul to get him here even at the deadline. I don't know if the pros outweigh the cons there. If the asking price for Soto is adding Bayo, would you say yes? No, I don't think I would. Would the Sox trade Casas to open up a spot for Devers? God, no. What's up, Gritty? What does a Casas extension look like? In my opinion, right, you're looking at Casas. Let me figure out when Tristan Casas becomes a free agent. I think it's 2029 if I remember correctly, but let me just double check. Actually, you know what? We started doing this on members only live streams. I'm just going to do everything for you guys, and you can see what I'm looking up and stuff. Because I feel like it makes you more engaged instead of me just rattling off numbers and stuff. All right, so he's not a free agent until 2029, right? So the idea would be you're buying out his arbitration years, and then you're adding some on top of that. So 2024 to 2029 would be what, a 5-year extension, 6-year extension? Okay, give him 9 years. Give him Give him a progressively increasing dollar amount so that it equals his value as he gets older, but still sort of a team-friendly deal, right? You start him out at maybe $5 million his first year, $10 million his second year, $12 million for the next 2 years, $16 million for the next 2 years, and then you give him 28, 29, 30 million for the last whatever amount of years that is left on his contract. Because by the time he gets to, 2029, 2030, stuff like that, he's going to be worth that $30 million with the inflation of player contracts and with his sort of growth within the league. That's the sort of contract I'd be looking at. 9, 10 years, lock him in until he's what? 33, 34, allow him to grow within the Red Sox and really cement your first base for a decade at a cost-controlled price. It just, to me, it feels like an absolute no-brainer. I mean, look at that season that's right there, right? 367 on base percentage, 490 slug, 856 OPS, and 129 OPS plus with 24 home runs. That's just his full rookie year in Major League Baseball, right? There's a whole lot more coming for Tristan Casas, and he was already 30% more productive than the average player in baseball. This is the guy, if you're talking about extending early, if I'm Craig Breslow and I want to make a splash, a long-lasting impression, Tristan Casas is the guy I go to first. Where were we? Thank you so much, Jackson. I appreciate that. That really does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Out of Rafaela, Duran, and Abreu, who would you trade in a big deal? It's tough. I would say Rafaela. I think Rafaela has the lowest floor, but also the highest ceiling, so he might be able to be worth more. He's definitely worth more than Abreu. Duran's worth more than Abreu. I would say Rafaela. My class liked you as a personality, just not a lot of Red Sox fans in class. Well, maybe if you keep showing them the videos, they'll eventually change their mind. just keep using me as propaganda for the Red Sox machine. That would be, Carl, you would need way more, dude. You would need so much more. You would need, it would have to be Meyer, Anthony, Miguel Blaze Jordan, Luis Perales, Rafaela to get the two of those. But hey, blowing up your farm for those guys, I'm in. What's up, JB? Tyler, how you doing? Glad you can make it to this live. I'm excited too. This is we've gotten really lucky with lives lately. Our first live stream of the offseason was the Hein Bloom firing. Now we get this. Awesome. What's up, Foxborough? Ohtani and starting pitching sounds like a good matchup to me. 8 to 10 year, 100 to 150 million. I think it'll have to be higher. I was thinking 8 to 10 year, 170, 176 million dollars versatility, but that's mostly because you're dealing with inflation as well, right? You've seen it not even just throughout the United States, but in baseball, contracts are going way up really, really fast. So you entice him with that inflation. So by the time he's getting paid what would be right now a lot of money, it's a little bit less. Give Casas the Acuna contract. No one should ever sign the Acuna contract again. Time for us to act like we're the GM. Oh, it's the best part of the offseason. Sign Ohtani for them to get the next Bambino. Rewrite the curse. Maybe that's what they need, man, to get that World Series. Am I worried about the amount of left-handed bats in the lineup? Yes and no. There are certain guys within the Red Sox lineup that I think it does not matter to me whether they are left or right-handed, right? You're talking guys like Devers. I could care less if he's in a left-handed heavy lineup, right? Casas, I don't care if he's in a left-handed heavy lineup, right? Masataka Yoshida, I'm all right with him being in a left-handed heavy lineup. God, that's a mouthful, right? Those are sort of the three guys that if you're going to bring in talent to me, only focusing on left-right matchups is going to leave you missing opportunities, right? Again, we talk about Soto, we talked about Ohtani, right? These are generational talents like Rafael Devers could be, like Tristan Casas could be. Those are the type of guys you make room for. So is it an issue that the Red Sox are too left-handed heavy? It depends on your supplemental pieces, right? To me, it doesn't matter if you've got, say, Ohtani, Devers, Yoshida, and Casas all in the same lineup because they're all going to mash no matter who's on the mound, right? But the more important piece to me is, okay, are you going to have, Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, Reese McGuire also being sort of the supplemental pieces there? And that, to me, is where you could sort of work around the lefty-righty matchup. I don't care about right-handed, left-handed when it comes to legitimate, frontline talent. But I do care a little bit when you're talking about the depth on the team. So does that answer your question? What's the biggest news you've covered on the channel so far? Is it Xander leaving, Bloom leaving, or Breslow coming in? They're all big in their own way. Are you talking in terms of views? It's the Xander leaving. If you're talking in terms of personal, I think is the biggest news. I think it was the Rafael Devers contract extension because I don't think anyone really saw that coming. I don't think anyone really saw that. It sounded like, a week before that they were, I remember putting out a video saying what is going on with the Red Sox ownership and their lack of trying to extend Devers. And a week later, I made a different video where they extended Devers, right? Yeah, Robbie, that's sort of my line of thinking as well when you're talking about bringing in a contract like Shohei Ohtani. It's not that he's not going to be valuable. It's for how long is he going to be valuable enough to give him the money that you're going to have to give him? And that's a big question. Are we going over the luxury tax this offseason? I'd be shocked if we didn't. As I'm from Birmingham in the UK, I don't get to see much of our farm system. So what kind of pitcher is Roman Anthony? Craig... where was I? Sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh, Roman Anthony is not a pitcher. He's an outfielder. He's a very, very talented left-handed hitting outfielder. If you want more information on Roman Anthony, I do have a couple videos on my channel, Craig. If you get the time and you want to sit down, you want to learn more about him. He is, in my opinion, the most exciting prospect in the Red Sox system. Top 5 teams to land Ohtani. Mariners, Giants, Dodgers, Mets. Fifth team. I'll throw the Red Sox in there. Why not? And pumped about Breslow? I am too. Without distracting from the show, off the top of your head, Corbin, starting rotation for 2024? Oh, man. Hey, Mike, you made it. Welcome in. Top 5 rotation. 1, Yamamoto. 2, Corbin Burns. 3, Brian Bayo. 4, Cutter Crawford. 5, Chris Sale. Hybrid role, Tanner Houck. Or hybrid role, Nick Pivetta. And then Tanner Houck in the bullpen. If we have great positional prospects and other teams have great pitching prospects, shouldn't we just trade for them? Yeah, it's a little bit of a fine line, though. It's a little bit of a fine line, right? You don't know. It's a very obvious solution, but it's a little bit more intricate than that, in my opinion. I was scared to death that right now we'd be talking about what are we going to do with Devers. Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of why it's my biggest news covering, because it was so kind of out of the blue. I remember getting the notification on my phone and just freaking out. How long do the Sox play in October? Hopefully only what? 12 more months? 12 more months. That's my expectation, is that they're at the bare minimum fighting for a wild card spot come the end of September. Legitimately fighting, not, oh, maybe they could make it if this happens or this happens. I mean, 1 game in, 1 game out. That's my bare minimum expectations for next year's team. Trade for Max Fried. I've been seeing this a lot lately. I might actually make a video on this, Adrian. I actually really like that idea. I think this could be a great one. Who could see the Sox getting in a move like Turner's contract from last year? Maybe. Yoshi, here we come. God, I hope so. Dave Roberts, the manager of the Padres. That'd be wild. What's up, Assassin? Glad you make it too. Trade for Tyler Glasnow, I just think there's too much injury risk, man. Too much injury risk with that. Could use this offseason is about pitching. With all the talk about need for a right-handed bat, what is the likelihood of bringing back Turner or Duvall? I would say Duvall is more likely than Justin Turner. I think the Red Sox are going to need someone who's a little bit more versatile than Justin Turner was towards the end of 2023. And going into 2024, right, that versatility is only going to get a little bit worse because he's getting older. And with what Masataka Yoshida gave you on the field last year, and with sort of your, you want to keep, Alex Cora's philosophy of trying to keep guys off their feet, Duvall, in my opinion, makes more sense. Chris Sale's 5, yeah. I think when you're looking at Chris Sale in 2024, he could still be very valuable. You just can't rely on him to be that number one, right? It's much different. Over the last couple of years, it's been, okay, Chris Sale's supposed to be our ace, right? This is supposed to be our guy. And he hasn't been, right? But if Chris Sale's a 5 or a 4 and he gives you, 25 starts, you're like, this is great out of your 5-hole guy because he could be that ace caliber pitcher, but you don't have to worry because if he goes down, right, you still have that 1, 2, and 3 that are going to anchor the rotation as opposed to the him going down and all of a sudden the 3 becomes the 1 and the 2 becomes the 2. It gets more complicated, right? Do you think it's smart for a few high AAV contract for Ohtani? It would be a national story, bring attention to Boston. Yeah. It could. Yeah, that's another good point. Justin Turner staying or leaving? I would say leaving. Would you rather have, what's up, Curran? Would you rather have Ohtani or Yamamoto? Yeah, I think I would. I would rather have Yamamoto. Would you wait for Bernstein free agency? Depends on what they're asking for, right? Depends on what you're asking for. After Martin and Jansen's age catching up to them, what's the plan for the 8th and 9th innings? That's another thing too, right? Do you start to groom, a Whitlock-Winkowski or Whitlock-Schreiber combination, or do you look outside? Do you go after the, I'm forgetting the closer's name from Japan already. I made a video on him. The Red Sox were interested in him. He's a left-handed closer. That could be a guy they look at. Josh Hader's on the market. Do you start to bring some guys in this time to supplement it? No, not Shota. Did I say versatility? Yeah, I did. No, I don't think so. Looking back on it, genetic, yes, but, we were so close to a postseason spot by the deadline. We were the hottest team in baseball, and Justin Turner was at the heart of it. He was the heart of it, right? It would be ridiculous to trade him away at the deadline, so it makes sense they said no. Looking back on it, right, obviously, you'd want to make that trade, but at the time, it makes sense they said no. Tanaka, Yuki, thank you. Yuki, I don't remember if his last name was Tanaka. Sasaki? Yes. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it would be versatility for sure. Hey, Dennis, how are you? I forgot to ask Dennis, your wife doing better? Verdugo for O'Neill, both have been disgruntled on team right-handed power bat. That could be something I'd see happening. Yeah. Masataka was a really great signing in my opinion. I agree, and I think he's going to be a lot better next year. Mike, are you struggling to spell out the name? All right, let me show you some of the press releases that came out from Craig Breslow's official signing. It's really, there's some really interesting stuff that I wanted to talk about on here that I kept thinking about. Also, yeah, that's Jonathan Papelbon, by the way. My life has been made. He followed me on Twitter. Oh, hey, Austin. Let me see here. This is one of the ones I wanted to bring up. You guys, did I change this? No, I didn't. I'm an idiot. I'm talking like you guys can see it. Okay, perfect. There we go. So this was Sam Kennedy's press release about Craig Breslow, and there's something I wanted to point out specifically in this press release. Look at the character references. David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia, David Ross, Brock Holt, and Kevin Youkilis. I mean, when you're talking about influential Red Sox personalities within the community, not just Red Sox, right? David Ortiz is the king of Red Sox baseball. Dustin Pedroia is not very far behind him. And then you got Kevin Youkilis and Brock Holt, who is extremely loved by the community. Both those guys, right? And obviously good baseball players on their own. And then there's David Ross as well. That to me is extremely, extremely interesting that all of these guys stuck up and put their references into ownership for Craig Breslow. I really, that to me is a very, very positive thing. That guys like David Ortiz and Dustin Pedroia, who David Ortiz has already called out ownership multiple times over the last couple of years, and he's called out Chaim Bloom as well over the last couple of years. For him to back a guy like Craig Breslow with as little experience as he does in a baseball operations executive role is to me a very, very positive sign. There was another one too I wanted to point out here. Oh, that's great, Dennis. I'm glad to hear that. Pap watching the videos on the side. God, I hope so. I want him to teach me how to close. Wouldn't that be a funny video if he just taught me how to close? And then the other one I wanted to talk about here. I have notifications on for like every Red Sox beat reporter, so give me a second here. Okay. This was John Henry, which there's something really interesting here that I wanted to point out here. Okay, we can skip the first part. Our organization continues to have significantly high standards and expectations with a goal of being able to compete annually for that coveted privilege. After the 2018 World Series, we sought, I was trying to highlight it for you guys. We sought to build a future that would avoid the ups and downs normally associated with winning. That plainly hasn't happened despite the results over the last few years. Substantial efforts have been made and considerable organization progress has occurred behind the scenes, but not at the major league level. This is really interesting, right? Because it's like, okay, so you were building for not going through the ups and downs, and you listed all the things that you did to do that, yet it hasn't happened. It's just, that to me is all over the place. I don't love that answer. But here's what I wanted to point out about just sort of a little bit of insight into what the Red Sox were thinking. Craig's understanding of the game is remarkable. We kind of already knew that, right? I talked about in my video his ability to utilize analytics and the game itself and really exploit it to be a successful pitcher is impressive. What convinced us to bring him aboard in this capacity was his highly strategic philosophy and his grasp of what makes operationally in what it takes operationally in today's ever-evolving game to excel at the highest level. I like that a lot, right? Because to me, what that's saying is he's strategic, which is great. You don't want to just spend money to spend money, but he also understands what it takes to win. And clearly it's a big difference between what he says and what he does, obviously, right? But for him to again, have no experience and come out of interviewing stuff like this, where, you've got the owner of the Boston Red Sox saying that he has a highly strategic philosophy and he has a grasp of what it takes operationally in today's ever-evolving game to excel at the highest level in player acquisition, development, and execution. I like that because it's not just about acquiring the best free agents. It's not just about paying the most money. It's about all three of those things. Development and execution are massive on the other end of that. Look at the Mets, look at the Padres, right? So I really like those sort of key buzzwords that John Henry included. Now, obviously, they could just be buzzwords, right? And again, we're not going to know until the offseason begins, but I really, really like that sort of phrasing right there. I think it speaks a lot to just how well-minded, that's a stupid way of putting it, but how intelligent Craig Breslow appears to be, and that excites me a lot. I don't know, Chance. That seems like the most ridiculous negative thing to think about, but What if Craig Breslow became some kind of pitching coach? I think it's too late for that now. I really like that we got someone that was a baseball player. He knows how these guys think and can tell when one of them is done. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, right? A do run, a do run. What's up, Vols? Of course, my friend. How you doing? Yeah, that's a good thing too, Prodigy, for sure. Corbin, in theory, I agree with you. Good hitters are just good hitters. However, Duran, Yoshida, Devers, Casas, fans might not like it, but it's time to think about a swap to get a right-hand power bat. I'm not saying I wouldn't be open to it. I'm just saying it would be, to me, it would be a bit of malpractice, to be totally honest with you, to trade away someone who has a high potential just because you don't like the left-right matchup in your lineup, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's perfectly acceptable to say that, hey, I think it's perfectly acceptable to say, hey, look, we need some right-handed bats, right? And of course we do. And I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying it shouldn't come at the expense of Yoshida, Devers, or Casas, right? I think that'd be ridiculous. One of the guys, of the last guys involved, I think he far and away has the highest upside. I agree with that, yes. Stripes, yeah, I don't know Stripes at all. Glad to hear Breslow values velo. Yeah, that's one of the things that I don't know if you watched, Chance. I don't know if you're referring to the podcast he was on. I forget what it was called. It's a Cubs podcast. But he was talking about his philosophy. And he was like, he mentioned that he likes to target guys that have higher velos because he believes that he can implement processes where he can adjust control and movement on pitches, but you can't ultimately teach natural velo. And I like that as well. Corbin Burns or Yamamoto, yeah, I think those are great ones. Would I have preferred Ang over Breslow? Yes, probably just based on experience, but I think Breslow has the potential to be better. Yeah, we could look at it in a second. Do you think Arenola's value has gone up or down because of the postseason? Up. Being here for the long run, he kind of has to be. They can't keep firing people. Let me give you the name of that podcast, Matt. If you just look up Craig Breslow on YouTube, he comes up. Oh, there's my hot stove right up in front there. It is, of course, now all the videos are going to be, it's Marquee Sports Network, but if you just look up Craig Breslow and look for Cubs Weekly Podcast, it's about a 36-minute podcast. Yeah, it's the Cub Weeklies one. Yep. What's up, Wes? Can I trade a player to Japan? No, I don't think so. Do you think Veritek stays with the Red Sox or the Giants went with? For now, yes. I think he does. It's interesting that the Red Sox allowed him to interview for that job. It means that he was clearly interested. So there's probably a good chance that there's going to be other opportunities. And I do think, honestly, there is going to come a point where Jason Veritek leaves and becomes a manager of another team. And I already talked about it. People are going to roast me for it, but I don't know if I'd want... yeah, anytime, Matt. I don't know if I want him to be the manager of the Red Sox, which is crazy to say. Yeah, exactly, Robbie. I think he has the higher ceiling for sure. No, Chance. I think Breslow understands the value of velocity. I think that's why, he had to utilize. He understands that that's why he had to utilize those analytics, right? And I think that's, and I think both of those are important, right? I think his ability to understand what makes a great pitcher great, but also what makes an average pitcher above average, right? Or what makes a below average pitcher average? How do you get those guys to make incremental changes to ultimately all of them impact your team in a positive way? I think Craig Breslow has a good understanding of that. Have I ever thought about partnering with another creator for a podcast or video? Yeah, I think. I would love to, but obviously I'm not going to go around being like, hey, man, can I be on your podcast? If someone asks, I would love to go on podcasts. I love talking Sox. What other impact right-handed bats do I think could be available? There's really not a lot. There's really not, especially for what the Red Sox need. It's you're going to either have to trade for it or you're going to have to hope Rafaela, or if you don't trade Nick York, can be an impact bat. Truly, that's what it's at right now. Unless you want to go the Teoscar Hernandez route. But other than that, there's not really a lot of like true impact right-handed bats. Do you think Yoshida opens the door for trading for a Luis Arraez type player? Great bat to ball skills, low strikeout rate. Not entirely sure what you mean there, Keith. Like trading Yoshida for a guy like that. What do I think Arraez's price tag is? It's monumental. I thought we banned this guy. Robbie, are you in here? Clip, are you in here? Could someone come grab this guy? Trout? Yeah, could be. Are there any mods in here? I don't know. I got him though. He does this every channel or every time. What are the chances we can get Yamamoto? I don't know. I'd put it at like 40%. There's gonna be a lot of people vying for Yamamoto. A lot, right? So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Would I rather get Mike Trout or Juan Soto? Soto. %40 is high. Could be, but I mean, we think about the Red Sox needs and all the frustrations and everything they've sort of talked about the offseason. They want to put their money where their mouth is. It's Yamamoto. Think we're still in on Ohtani? I don't think we'll ever be truly in on Ohtani. Does Verdugo get traded? Oh, Eric, I was wondering why you weren't at the last members only live stream. I see now. Interesting. We'll have to talk about that. Does Verdugo get traded? I don't think so. Or I'm sorry, yes, I think so. I think he gets traded. Yeah, I would love to, Yanni, but it would also cost everything, and people don't want to trade prospects. You would get Mike Trout for longer, though? Yeah, but the ceiling right now compared to, dude, come on. What are we doing? Can we please not do this, Red Sox for life? Like, I understand you got 2 accounts, and I understand you think it's funny. But I'm going to ask you politely to stop, and then I'm going to ban you. Like, I'm talking to you person to person right here, right? Thank you. Your membership is gone too? I wonder what's going on with that. Yesterday, there were like none. No one had a membership yesterday. So I wonder if it just didn't re-up for people. I don't know. What do you think of a sale and eat some of the contract for Jonathan India? I don't think it would happen. You'd have to eat all of it. Such a random spam, too. It was because last time I said something, and he was like, JD and Mookie are my favorite players. And I asked him why he has Mookie and Devers' name in there, and you started spamming it. What would have to happen for us to keep Turner? We'd have to. Personally, I think we'd have to sign him. I think we'd have to sign him before he hits free agency. Loved your Luis Robert video. Appreciate it. Thanks. It's tough for me because it's like I want to still make contact. I still want to talk about the Red Sox, but the only way to do that is to talk about these, ridiculous trades, and they're obviously not going to happen, but there's stuff to at least talk about and at least start to get you focused on what it would actually cost to make a big splash, and people just hate it. Then it disappeared. That's weird. Do you think we still go after Lorenzen? Possibly, but you would have to get a big number one. Lorenzen would have to be a real supplemental piece. When does the offseason officially begin? The day after the World Series starts, you could start talking to free agents, and then free agency opens up 6 days after that. I honestly don't know what we could do to be crazy competitive. Maybe recency bias, but I just want to win so bad. Honestly, it's fairly simple, right? The answer to the Red Sox problems is simple. Pitching, defense, pitching, a little bit of right-handed power. You're all in. Does Urias get non-tendered? I would say probably. I don't think they pick him up. My dad met the new Craig guy when he worked at Vineyard Vines. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't see Urias getting tendered unless honestly they believe he could turn his bat around. Because if they turn his bat, what is with this Verdugo sucks stuff? Oh, Jordan, come on, man. Hey, Robbie, can you help me out here? Yeah, Urias to me just feels like it's not going to happen. You've got Pablo Reyes, right, who in my opinion I think was the better player this year, and then I think they're going to use Emmanuel Valdez as sort of a platoon. I don't think there's really a spot for Urias on the market, right? Robbie, you said something too. Who would be a good bat to go after that's reasonable? To be honest with you guys, when we're looking at the bats, there's really not a lot. All right. I don't think I can go through and can I sort by? Yeah, I can. All right. So let's do this. Let's do all batters. Bats right-handed. Oh, oops. Update. All right. So bats, right-handed bats. Let's take a look. Miguel Cabrera retiring, right? Evan Longoria, too old. Javier Baez is an opt-out. No shot he's taking that. Mark Canha, too old, right? He's going to be 34. Matt Chapman could be interesting, but I don't think you move Devers off of third base this early. And I don't know if you'd want to utilize Matt Chapman as just a DH. Rhys Hoskins could be an interesting choice, but you can't really put him anywhere else but DH or first base. Randall Grichuk, again, a little bit older in my opinion. I don't know how much of an impact he'll have. CJ Cron could be interesting, but again, right? Duvall makes sense for where the Red Sox are right now. Tommy Pham, probably not. Harrison Bader could be interesting, right? Could be an interesting small pickup that you throw in there and try and make work. Is sort of he does have power. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., that could be a really interesting person to go after. I think he could be pretty successful in the Red Sox. A 4-year deal. This would be a guy I would look into for sure. I don't know how much of this you can see, actually. Okay, you can see all of it. Good. And then it gets real bad, right? Yu Chang, Michael Chavis, Yuli Gurriel, Jordan Luplow, Gary Sanchez. Like, there's not... I don't know. If we're talking about true, like, what would fit the Boston Red Sox, Yordis Gurriel, he could fit. He could fit for sure. Bader's also a good fielder. Yeah, definitely. Can I guess at a possible contract? 10 years, $174 million. Predictions on the 2024 rotation. Am I an all Boston sports fan? I don't know why I said Boston. Who's their trade bait? The Red Sox trade bait? No, it's not the worst chance. It just blocks everyone else. I would say U.S. Padawan, thank you for becoming a member. I don't know why I didn't get the notification for that, but I appreciate you. Thank you. I would say there are a lot of outfielders, right? I mean, anyone could really be, in my opinion, anyone outside of Devers, Casas, Bayo, and Yoshida, and Story probably are potential trade baits, if you will. Valdez, Abreu, Rafaela, Duran, Verdugo, Houck, even Crawford, as much as I wouldn't want to give up Crawford. Schreiber could be an interesting one. Yeah, I think that's sort of my list right now of people I wouldn't be shocked. Would Jazz Chisholm be a viable piece? I don't think so. Not for what the Red Sox are looking for. He'd be fun, but I don't know if he would be... I don't know if he would be a guy that you would want. Why do so many guys bat lefty? More money. What do you think what do you think Breslow's first non-front office move will be? I hope it's extending Casas. I hope they do that. I think it'll be trading away. Man, it's tough. I think it'll be. I truly don't know. Maybe trading away Verdugo. IKF could work. I don't know. Maybe, actually. Tatis is a right fielder now, which would fit even better. Meyer, Anthony, Jordan for Tatis. It'd be more. If you want Massa at DH, I think it's inevitable. He isn't a great fielder, and he obviously is a great hitter, but most importantly, his fatigue problems. Yeah, 2023 will be different. Or 2024 will be different. Yeah, Jackson, I get the feeling, but I don't know. I think the offense is pretty okay. I mean, that doesn't mean it can't get better, right? That's sort of the way I'm looking at it. Do I like Verdugo? Oh yeah, I do like Verdugo as a player. I just don't think his spot on the Red Sox going forward makes a lot of sense. Offense needs more power. Right? Like, yeah, I mean, power is always helpful. But if you're going to score a crap ton of runs off of doubles, I don't care how you get there, right? I don't care how you get there at all. You could, I mean, truly, right? You would single teams to death. If you're winning ball games, I really don't care about the home run numbers. Plus, you look at the Red Sox going forward. Rafi's probably going to give you 30 plus. Tristan Casas is going to give you 20, 25. Trevor Story full season's probably going to give you 20 plus. Whether or not, if you bring back Duvall, that's probably 20 plus. And then you got some of these younger guys that could have the potential to be 15-ish. You've got the power in the lineup. Benny reunion, I'm good. Moss is going to give you 15 or 20. Who's leading off next season with Verdugo gone? Whoever's in center field. Rafaela or Jarren Duran. I would guess Jarren Duran. You give me your lineup on 2024 opening day. Man, dude, the offseason hasn't even started. I don't even know. Jarren Duran, Devers, Jaron Rand, Devers. See, this is a problem with no right-hand bats, right? You want to put a righty here, but there's not really any righties to put here. Do you put Story at 3? I'm just going to go around the bases. I'm not going to try and figure out the actual lineup. Casas, Story, or Casas, probably opening day lineup, probably be Casas. Let's throw Jonathan India at second base just for fun. Story at shortstop, Devers at third. Left field will be Juan Soto. Center field will be Jaron Duran. Right field will be right field will be, man, this is hard. Right field will be Wilyer Abreu, and DH will be Masataka Yoshida. Is there a chance you see this offseason not being a big spender? I think there is a chance, yeah. Casas at 3, but then you go left, right? Ideally, you'd want somewhere in the top 3, you'd want a righty. Does Duvall sign in the 5-day window after the World Series? No. You think that Story moves to second base if when Meyer gets called? No. I think Story stays at shortstop for a little bit, kind of like Xander Bogaerts when he came up in 2013. I think Meyer plays second base for a little bit, and then eventually they swap, and then it's just sort of who plays out who. Wonder if you could swap Verdugo in India. Possibly. I don't know if Cincinnati's going to want to pay Verdugo though. How about big acquisitions? Do you think we're getting? How many big acquisitions? I would say in terms of big, like holy hell. Like, make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, start rushing to get a jersey. 2, maybe 1. Yeah, agree versatility. Casas should be an on-base hitter unless Casas is the on-base. Should be after an on-base. Oh, okay. Yeah, agreed. Wonder if you could swap. Oh, I just said that. Yeah, I would be down for that, Robbie. I don't know if the Reds want to pay Verdugo because he'll probably make $15 million this year. How long is Cora's contract? Because I want Tech to take over. It's through the end of 2024. I would imagine now, though, that before the season starts, we're going to see a contract extension for Alex Cora for, I would say, 2 years. I think till 2026. And then we see someone else take over, which will be music to some people's ears. Who do I consider a big acquisition? I'm talking guys where you're like, wow, the entire landscape of the Red Sox shifted, right? A Yamamoto, a Burns, a Soto, an Ohtani, yeah, I think those are sort of like the, oh my God, right? Breslow played with Cora and Veritek, yeah. And I think what's also interesting, too, is that now you've got 3 voices in prominent positions within the Red Sox organization who have been on the field and won a World Series, right? Cora in 2007, and then obviously managing in 2018, Breslow in 2013, Tech in 2004 and 2007. Those are 3 guys who understand not only what it takes to win outside of playing on the field, but playing on the field itself. And that, to me, is very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. I think they're a similar player, Joe. I think they're similar, and I think they're worth about the same. Watching the Celtics? No, dude. My sports brain literally only turns on for the Red Sox because, I literally, here's my daily schedule, right? I have a 9-to-5 job, but I wake up around 6:30, record a video, edit, get onto my 9-to-5. Once the video hits at 12, or in this case, if there's breaking news earlier, I'm responding to comments, I'm doing all this. Then I get off of work at 5, and my goal is to figure out what I'm doing the next day. I truly don't have time to fit any other sports in. And, of course, you got to throw in eating, making sure I'm still moving because I'm at my desk for 12 hours a day. sometimes more. And then obviously I have my girlfriend that I have to worry about as well. Is Jansen with us next year? Yeah, he is. Did I just say no? I don't think so. Thank you for this. Thank you for watching. I'm so worried. If this ever does become a full-time job, I'm so worried. Because, like, right now, right, I'm like, okay, if I fit it in between, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. is sort of my window of editing and doing stuff. And then after 5, I'm thinking about video ideas. Man, if this is my full-time job, oh, boy. It would be, there would be no set schedule. It would be all over it. We got to get you more subscribers so this could be full time. God, I hope we get there one day. It's obviously my dream of mine, but we're working at it. David Hamilton's still on the roster? Yeah. I don't even know if they'll have, honestly, Mike, I don't want to I'm not trying to poo-poo David Hamilton. I don't know if they're going to have, I don't know if they're going to have, legitimately room on the 40-man roster for it. Thinking outside the box here, what sort of package do you get for Devers? Nothing. We're not trading him. Yeah, it's all about views, Genetic. Is Pablo Reyes staying? Yes. Pablo Reyes earned a spot next year. What do I do 9 to 5? I'm not going to tell. We're going to keep that private. I'll tell you guys once I quit. What's your threshold for subs to make this full time? I think 20K is a good spot. Honestly, it depends. It really doesn't matter about subscribers so much as it matters about engagement, views, membership level, stuff like that. 5 gifted subs. Wow, Versatility. You are the man. Thank you so much for doing this. I truly appreciate you. Thank you. Jackson getting 1. Johnny getting 1. Tim getting 1, Matt getting 1, A1 getting 1. You're the man. Can we get some claps to chat for Versatility, please? Yeah, goat emojis, whatever you want to do. Who's going to play second base for 2024? I would say starting opening day, I would say Pablo Reyes, but I don't know if there is a full-time option for that, to be honest with you. I have, Dave. And maybe I will. Yes, Eric, I do. Maybe I will eventually. I just don't have the time right now to cover every major league. Because the reason I did Red Sox and not Major League Baseball, because I know the Red Sox, right? I understand the Red Sox, and I pay attention to every little thing about the Red Sox. I can't do that for all Major League Baseball right now, and that's sort of the problem. Starting rotation 2024 again. What did I say last time? Yamamoto, Burns, Bayo, Crawford, Sale. Man, my voice is hoarse today, chat. It's because I don't talk during work. I just sit at my computer. I'll maybe have an hour meeting. Yeah, I don't want to spread myself too thin too. You know what I mean? I want to do stuff where I understand it and am knowledgeable about it. Do you think we could pull that rotation off? Yeah, I think we could. Yamamoto, Snell, Burns, Nolan, Sale. What, $600 million in contracts this offseason? Give me a good Boston accent. I can't do a Boston accent. I'm told I have a New England accent. I can't do a Boston accent. I would love to have a Boston accent, but it would certainly fix the pitching. Chances of selling high into Rand and grabbing an arm through him, moderate. I wouldn't say high. I would say pretty decent, though. I appreciate that, Jackson. Thank you. Be a teacher. I get 8 weeks in the summer. I thought about becoming a teacher, actually. I really did. Let's spend $1 billion and I'll be happy. Imagine the Red Sox put their foot down, spend $1 billion on contracts this offseason. What did we spend last offseason? What did we spend last offseason? Between Devers was $300 million, Yoshida was $110 million, Turner was like $15 million, probably like $400 million. It's not impossible. What's it going to take to acquire Burns? What did I say? Sponsored by the IRS. What did I said it somewhere. Did I bookmark baseball trade values? No, I didn't. This is the easiest place. It's not the most accurate. I'll say that. I agree with all the skepticism around it. But I will say it's the easiest place to go to just quickly take a look. Hello? Oh, it's loading. My internet's been slow as heck today. And I got cabled internet, not Wi-Fi. Okay. Burns. Oh, I'm on. What the heck? There's a Bayo. I didn't know that. Burns to the Red Sox. 30 mil. So you can probably get that by, I mean, if you really want to do it, Rafaela, in my opinion, should be the headliner for this. Look at how little Story's worth right now. That's crazy. Turner's worth -3. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways. In my opinion, it is Rafaela. And, I mean, you could throw in Schreiber, but I don't think that's it. I think it's York. And if you really want to sweeten the deal here, you really want to get them on their side, you go Chase Medroth. That would get it done, hypothetically, on this website, right? Be a bit of an overpay, but I think you're going to have to overpay. That might not be a bad idea. Yeah, with Devers. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Corbin going to be a teacher, the freshman. I would love to be the freshman baseball coach. What's up, Joey? Is it Jackson? Chisholm doesn't make a ton of sense in the lineup. It'd be fun, but is it true that you declined to interview? Yeah, family considerations. Listen, it's just not the right. I discussed it with the people closest to me. Just not the right time. But I'm open to opportunities in the future. Oh man, that is like the perfect combination, Robbie. That is like the perfect. That'd be what I want to teach too. Yeah, I'm not super active in the Discord. It's because I don't get notifications, and I turned them on, and I still don't get notifications, so I don't even know when people are talking. World Series prediction, Rangers in 6. Although you know what? I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks because of Corbin Carroll. I want a Corbin World Series MVP so bad. So I'm gonna say D-backs in 7 because of that. Oh right, versatility. I'm an idiot. Wish they had an ESPN trade simulator for the MLB because they have simulators for the NFL and NBA. This one works well, I think. What do you think about the catcher situation? I like Juan, but hate Reese backing him up. I don't hate Reese. The reason I don't hate Reese is because he's not going to be the backup for much longer. Eventually it'll be Wong being the backup with Teal, and that's truly going to be at most another year. So I don't hate it right now because of what it means for the future. Trade Burns now and hit the reset button. Keep Woodruff as the ace. I want it bad. Does Verdugo move on, and does center field change in 2024? Yeah, versatility. I'm on the same page. With you in charge, Jackson, I got full faith. Does Verdugo move on? Yes. He gets traded. And does center field change in 2024? No. I think it'll be one of, say, Don Rafael or Jaron Moran. Love Ketel Marte was a guy I wanted to trade for so bad during the 2020, going into 2023. I made a video about it. Everyone was like, nah, the injury risk. But I was like, he's going to be beneficial to a team in 2023, and he is, dude. I want him so bad. I really don't think they're going to trade him at all anymore. 2 years for Teal, maybe versatility. He's been blowing up the minor leagues. If he continues to hit the way he hit, look at this, right? If Kyle Teal comes into 2024, teak. Tau Kappa Epsilon. Theta Kappa Epsilon. Theta? No. Delta Kappa Epsilon? I don't remember. Look, I mean, just like, come on. Like, if he's hitting 323, and again, 9 games, like he has not played a lot, right? But if he plays 3 months, hitting 323 with a 462 on base percentage and at 484 slug, good for a 167 WRC plus, he's going to quickly move up. And I don't expect him to do that, which is why I'm saying I think he'll be in legitimate conversation in 2025. But there is a chance that he keeps hitting the way he's hitting, he ends up very quickly in the major leagues. I think that's very, very... Tim gifting 1 Red Seat Radio membership to Matt Happel. Matt, congratulations. And Tim, thank you so much for becoming a member of Red Seat Radio and then gifting one of your own. Thank you so much. We get some claps in the chat or some of the emojis for you members. Let's get some strong arm emojis for Tim, please. Thank you so much. Zerny Massa helps us get Ohtani to Boston. Yeah, Robbie. If you're gonna bring back Duvall, Verdugo's gone. I think Verdugo's gone either way, to be honest with you. It won't be next year, so the next year after that. Oh, okay. So 2025? Yeah, I would agree with that. But, I mean, there's best case scenario, you see him in 2020. You see him in 2024. What website is this? It's called Fangraphs. Fangraphs.com. Trade Reese McGuire for a Walmart gift card. Reese McGuire has his value, right? Not everyone on the Red Sox is going to be a superstar. Honestly, not everyone on the Red Sox is going to be a league average hitter or a league average player, but you just need him to fill roles, right? You just need to fill roles. That's all you need to do. And Reese fills a role, and I think he could fill that role adequately. Until, yeah. Catcher interference, go. True. You can fill it adequately until we get someone who can do it well above average. We need someone DFA when Teal comes up. Yeah. Reese has negative power. Yeah, but again, you don't need everyone in the Red Sox to hit 40 bombs, right? In the job description for what Reese McGuire does, it's get Connor Wong off of his knees. Don't be an idiot behind the dish. And once in a while, give you something at the plate. Right? That's sort of it. Fangraphs confusing. Fangraphs can be confusing. It's just sort of, it took me a while to understand, a lot of analytics as well. It's just, it really, all it is it's about figuring out what they mean. And once you figure out what it means, it all sort of makes sense. It's easier to digest. Like, Weighted runs created plus is essentially OPS plus. It's a very similar statistic. True, we don't need him to hit 40 bombs, but what if everyone on the team did hit 40 bombs? Something to think about. Imagine we had a team where everyone on the team hit 40 home runs. It'd be flat out unstoppable. That'd be greatest single season of all time. Yeah, exactly, Joey. Oh, yeah. That's why I always use Baseball Reference, too. It's much easier to quickly get to the information you want. I agree with that. Oh, thank you, Tim. I'm glad you can be here. It means a lot to me. Everyone hitting 20 home runs, that'd be crazy. Carl, I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of Sale for what it's worth. Like if you think about getting rid of Sale, right, you have to think about what it's going to cost to send him somewhere, right? And if you want a legitimate prospect, that's going to cost you a lot of money. And if you want a lot of money, that's going to cost you a prospect. Either way, I think it's just worth him staying here. We'd be out in the divisional series. You got a good trade idea? Red Sox. Brooklyn Pickle franchise? I'm all in on that. I'm a big pickle guy. I'm in on that. No, you can't land Cease and Burns. I think landing both those guys wipes out your farm system. And if you're gonna wipe out your farm system, in my opinion, it should be more spread out a little bit. Big old pickle guy. Sale give us 3 wins in 24. He's aged, angry. Wait, what? I think Sale, again, it depends on what role Sale's in, right? I think you put Sale in the 4 spot, getting 24 starts out of Sale and a 8-7 record. Right? Like I think most people will be happy with that out of their 4 spot. I'm a big fan of, you know what I really like? Chamoy on a pickle. Oh, that's good. Cease, Yamamoto, Sale, and Crawford. Where's Bayo in all this? I'd be okay letting go of David Hamilton if Cease involved. Only player. David Hamilton 1-for-1 on Cease. Yeah. Let's do it. I also don't think you're getting, if you're going to trade, in my opinion, you're getting 2 starting pitchers. Bayo's the unknown. I don't know about 2 unknown. I think you know at minimum what you're going to get, and I think your minimum is what you saw this year. In terms of unknown, it's how high is his ceiling. We know his floor. What can his ceiling be? In my opinion, what you're getting this offseason, in my opinion, maximum is 2 legitimate starting pitchers. And that could either come via free agency or that could come via trade. But I think either way, you got to get 2 starting pitchers. I don't think we'll see 3. Who decides the winning pitcher of a game? What is it? Teams leading or gains the lead while you're on the mound 5 innings? Five innings, yeah, okay. Do you think the Yankees will land either Ohtani or Soto? I don't know, man. I don't really fear the Yankees in free agency as much as I once did. What do they do to get better, right? They're sort of lockjawed on a lot of contracts. Stanton, Garrett Cole, Judge, Rodon. And I think Cashman's sort of getting wise to that. I don't know how, like, I think they'll make a splash. I don't know how big of a splash. And to be honest with you, Soto would suck for a year, but are they able to extend him? One, and two, I don't know that Soto wants to be in an org. Soto is very free-spirited. He's very outgoing. It's not really the Yankee MO. So if he does get traded there, right, they're going to wipe their farm system for him. I don't know that he wants to. Like, look at what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was saying about the Yankees, right? Soto is very similar to that. In terms of personality, right? He's outgoing. He's fun. Yankees are stiff. You think Aaron Judge could bust a move? Aaron Judge isn't busting moves. Aaron Judge is doing the Corbin Provo shuffle. You know what I mean? Juan Soto's out there. He's moving his hips. He's having a good time. Maybe he has a couple drinks. Judge is DDing and doing the Provo shuffle, he's just not a Yankee. So I'm not too worried about it. Even if they trade for Soto, it'd suck for a year, but I think he leaves anyways. That was my whole spiel there. Yeah, the penguin dance, I'm moving everything but my hips, $3 from Tim. Thank you so much, Tim. Let's celebrate his first super on a live stream. Get some claps in the chat for Tim, please. Your message should pop up at some point. I'm not entirely sure what happened to those. My thing might have gotten disconnected, but I appreciate you so much, Tim. Thank you. Can we get some claps in the chat for Tim, please? And thank you again, Tim. You're the man. Do you think the Red Sox is a free and open environment? Yes, right? I mean, you got the beards. We got the idiots. 2018, you had the Flow Bros, right? They're just, yes, I do. With Soto, I think the rumor is, there it is. Tim with the $3 super chat once again. Thank you so much, my friend. With Soto, I think the rumor is interesting that he talked to his brother, into going to Washington because he's coming back. That would be hilarious if he went to back to the Nationals. That would be hilarious. Do Yankee fans ever have fun? I don't know. There are a few good Yankee fans. George Kirby, I would love George Kirby. It would cost a lot to get George Kirby, but I would love George Kirby. Still have the green chair. How long have you been a member? A month? I think it's after 2 months you get the blue chair, and then after 6 months you get the red chair. 3 months you get the red chair, I believe. We got to make a gold chair for a year. I got to do that. Someone remind me to do that in the Discord. Carl with the $20 super chat. Carl, wow, man. Thank you so much, Carl. That is unbelievably generous. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can we get some claps in the chat for Carl all the way around? Carl, my man. That was too much. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. For some reason, it is delayed as hell. I don't know why. I really want Josiah Gray. What do you think it would take to trade for him? Probably more than you might think. I think Josiah Gray's ceiling's really high right now. Is that the move that the Red Sox should make? Depending, yeah. See, the problem is, what would it cost, right? Josiah Gray's probably the second or third most valuable player on the Nationals right now. It would cost a lot. So, I can heart these now? Let's heart it up. Wait, how do I heart? I can't heart Tim's? I can't heart Tim. Why could I heart that one? Shut up, versatility. Tim, that means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I think there are a lot of decent pitching options around the league. If we're being honest, like you could look at one person from each team and be like, that would work really well. But it depends on availability. And with Josiah Gray, I don't think that availability is there, at least for the price that you would be willing to pay for him. Lane Thomas to Boston. I'm not even sure I know who Lane Thomas is, honestly. I don't think they need Jared Kelenic in that Patriots, because Jared Kelenic is essentially a little bit of a higher ceiling Jarren Duran, but has had less success in major leagues than Jarren Duran. Would Sonny Gray be a good fit? Yeah. I would be happy with Sonny Gray. I know a lot of people don't like him because of his time on the Yankees, but look at James Paxton's time on the Yankees, right? Red Sox in Houston. Who would we even want from Houston? That's the problem. Like, do they just... I don't think they get rid of Verdugo just to make space. For Verdugo... Yeah, it depends on what you're getting back. Like, if you were trading Verdugo at the deadline, you were trading him just to make space. Now that it's in the offseason, you can trade him to actually improve the 2024 club. So, yeah, pitching from Houston would be great, Alvarez. Pitching from Houston would be great, but I mean, the players you'd be interested, you're probably not getting for Verdugo, right? Framber Valdez, you're definitely not getting for Verdugo. Maybe JP Sears, you're probably not getting for Verdugo. Christian Javier, no. Tristan Javier, maybe. But I don't think that, I still don't think you get it done. Needs an identity and a serious draw for the seats. Call me crazy. They're going to sign Ohtani and Yamamoto. Kyle, you crazy, dude. Ohtani and Yamamoto, I don't think it's both. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't want to say I wouldn't be shocked if we got Ohtani. I'd be shocked if we got Ohtani. But, I mean, there are legitimate reasons why it makes sense right now with where the Red Sox are at to go for Ohtani. I think there are legitimate reasons. Would you trade for Garrett Cole? No. Just out of pure morality is the wrong word. What am I trying to say here, chat? Not morality. $5 from Dave. Oh my God. Dave, you guys are being so kind tonight. Thank you so much. Watch all your videos, but this is my first live. This really made me believe that one day this week. Dave, that is, I mean, thank you so much. That's a very kind message. Thank you. Can we get some claps to the chat for Dave? Please and thank you. That was very nice, Dave. That meant a lot to me. Do the Red Sox trade for Mike Trout? I kind of hope not, which is crazy to say. Am I crazy? Why would we trade Verdugo if he's a Gold Glove finalist? I think because, you're looking at a couple of different things here with Verdugo. The first is that hatred. No, it's more so with the Garrett Cole thing. It's out of principle, right? Just hating Garrett Cole out of principle. I can't do it. Where were we? Oh, not trading Alex Verdugo. I would trade Alex Verdugo for a couple of reasons. The first is that, for the last 3 years, there's always been sort of this level that Alex Verdugo can get to. And it's what we saw at the beginning of 2023. And yet, for some reason, he can't seem to sustain that level of success. So that's the number one reason I think Alex Verdugo is on the chopping block. The number two reason is the obvious one, and that is that he's got 1 year left to control, and the Red Sox don't seem interested at all in bringing him back. And the third reason is that you've got all these sort of not clubhouse issues, because it's clear that players on the team really like Alex Verdugo, but it's issues with, I don't want to flat out say work ethic, because I think Alex Verdugo does work hard, but I think he's easily, you saw it, right? Lack of hustle in Cleveland got him benched. Not showing up to practice got him benched, right? I just think there's too many reasons to not keep him than there is to keep him. Will you trade for Soto? If we can, if I could, I would. Why didn't I interview for the GM job? Family considerations. If Breslow gets Ohtani on even a slight reasonable deal, he could go down as an all-time Sox GM. Yeah, it's got to be in the back of his head. Would you be fine trading for Cole Rogans? I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you. Hey, Corbin, listening at work. Thanks for all your great content. Always trying to answer all our questions. Get rid of the opener. It kills their long game. Agreed. I'm all done with openers. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Thanks for listening, JL. Appreciate you. Hopefully I'm not distracting you too much from work. Do the Red Sox trade for Matt McLain? Dude, getting Matt McLain would be kind of perfect. It would be kind of perfect. Is he a righty? If he's a righty, I can't remember. If he's a righty, I'm in. Needs to be pushed, but that's what we've been saying for the last 3 years, and he just hasn't been able to get to that next level. Yeah. The Red Sox did a mistake letting Kyle Schwarber go. Yeah, they kind of backed themselves into a corner a little bit with Dombrowski's JD Martinez contract. Giving him that opt-in in his last year really sort of made it impossible for them to bring Schwarber back. But if we're being totally honest here, Schwarber's a great guy, and he is a very valuable hitter, but is he a difference maker on his own? Like, if we had Kyle Schwarber instead of Justin Turner, are we in the playoffs right now? No. Right? No. We're flat out no. We're not. All right, Dennis, I appreciate you so much for stopping by, man. Thank you. 90 mil to the payroll? Man, could they do that? Hell, if Breslow signed Yamamoto and extended Casas, he'd be a cult star. If those were his first two moves, I'm getting a Craig Breslow jersey. I'm getting a Craig Breslow jersey immediately. If he extends Tristan Casas and is like, oh yeah, you guys like that one? How about Yamamoto? Yeah, I agree, Keith. Who's the better player? Who? Schwarber's is clutch in the playoff when you get there, though. He is, yeah, but you got to get there, right? And I don't know if you had kept Kyle Schwarber, even in 22, right? If you kept Kyle Schwarber and not had that opt-in for JD Martinez, is that team in the World Series or in the postseason even? No, right? Probably not. Who's the better player, Corbin Carroll or Julio Rodriguez? I would say Corbin Carroll. I'm a little bit biased because my first name's Corbin as well. But I think Corbin Carroll ended up being the better player, which is wild. I think they're very similar, but not sold on Kenley. Better than last year, but I'd rather have Pivetta in the 7th and 8th than promote Chris Martin. I think Kenley had a little bit of a rocky year this year, but he still converted about 87% of the saves that he had this year. If you compare that to most of Major League Baseball, I mean, that's a really good closer, right? It's not like he wasn't closing games. And if we're being totally honest here, there were only about 4 or 5 games during the entire year where he dropped the save opportunity. That's it. Right? That's I mean, it looks like a lot when you're watching the games and you know, it's sort of with the Cardinals, right? 2 out of the 5 of those, I believe, were back-to-back, right? So it feels like a true stretch when he's bad, but for the most part, he's really good. Casas in 2024, 310, 30. That would be insanity, Carl. I'm all in on that, though. Calling up Myers, signing Yamamoto, extend Casas, they'd make a statue of Craig Breslow. It'd be a fan statue, but yeah. What do you think a long-term Casas contract would look like? 10 years, $174 million. Let's run it up. Joining late. What's up, Peter? How are you this fine evening? What do you think Breslow's first move will be? I truly, if we're talking like kind of boring answer, Peter, it'll be hiring a pitching coach. Clearly one of the biggest needs for the Red Sox going into 2024 is pitching development and pitching improvements. I think that starts with a pitching coach. So the boring answer there is a pitching coach. But if we want to get creative and add some fun, I think he's trading Alex Verdugo. I mean, that's fair, Kevin. But again, when you're choosing between JD Martinez and Kyle Schwarber, and JD Martinez has all the power to answer that for you, Who do I have winning the World Series? I want the Diamondbacks, but my head says Rangers. Thoughts on how OB and Uke did this year broadcasting? I'm kind of with you, AJ. I love Kevin Youkilis. He is for those of you who don't know, he's my favorite baseball player of all time, just out of personality and the way he played the game. Maybe not true statistic wise, but he was my personal favorite as a kid. And I think he got kind of we haven't seen Kevin Youkilis in a winning season yet, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, this year was a little bit of a downturn for me. I was at some points I was with you. I was like, okay, let's let this breathe. Let's just have fun. I like that, Prodigy. I'd be interested. Kenley gave us heart attacks nearly every time he took the mound, but yeah, exactly. Best Red Sox show. Thank you so much, Rosa. Thank you. Who's a better player? Oh, I already answered this. Corbin Carroll. When do you picture the first trade extension happening this offseason? I think we'll see an extension, Dave. I think we'll see for the Red Sox specifically or for MLB in general. Because MLB in general, I would say we'll see an extension probably pretty quickly here. Maybe, honestly, you might even see a small extension here or there before the World Series starts. But if we're talking about Red Sox in particular, I think we'll see an extension, a true extension, sometime in February. And then a trade, I would say pretty early on. I'd say within the first month of the offseason. Hey, what's up, Jay? Sign Bartolo Colon. He's in a new league now. OB is too neutral. Agreed. In Breslow, we trust. I'm in. Bobby V was right about Uke. I don't even remember what he said about Uke. Sale needs to be moved to the pen. It takes him 9 pitches to get through 5 innings. No, I don't know about the pen. I could see an a 4 or 5 starter is, I think, the best spot for him right now. Bill Burr need to be calling every game. I like Bill Burr, the comedian. I can't stand him in the booth. What are the chances we get Josh Hader? Probably, I would say low. I would say 5%. Tim with another $2. Tim, thank you so much, Tim. I truly appreciate the support tonight. It is mean the world. You're extremely generous this evening. Thank you so much. Can we get some emojis in the chat, some claps, some strong arms, some goats? Gotta go, Tim. Well, I appreciate everything tonight, man. It really means a lot, your multiple donations. I hope to see you again soon. And remember, with your membership, you can come to member-only live streams. So this month is going to be a quiz show, so don't forget about that. Thank you so much, Tim. Have a good night. Saw an extension today, Pierce Johnson, the Braves. Well, there you go. Do I think Justin Turner could be a coaching in Boston after his playing days? Actually, yeah, you know what? I could. What happens with Bobby D? I think they'll try and trade him, and if they can't trade him, they'll non-tender him. I could see it, Peter. I think there'll be a big move. I think there'll be a big move pretty quickly. I just don't know what it'll be. When do you expect Meyer to be called up? He had a decent year in the minors, coming back from the injuries. If he has a decent year, 2025, probably early 2025 if he has a good year. I don't see him coming up in 24 unless, again, he just absolutely demolishes AA pitching, which I think will happen, but I think it'll take time for that to happen. So I think it'll be 2025. Are you streaming any World Series games? Let me look at the World Series schedule. The best thing Apple did was make the ability to Okay, so what's today? 25th. So next Wednesday would be the 1st. Probably not. Probably won't do a World Series stream, unfortunately. I don't think I'll be able to. Sale could be a hater in the pen if he's like 2019 Sale, but to be honest, it feels like a pipe dream. I missed a real Sale days. I still think he's valuable as a 4 or 5 starter, honestly. A top thing for Breslow will be figuring out who we can keep. Yeah, the Rule 5 draft eligible players are big. There's a lot of them. Let me go through those. There's a lot of them right now. For those of you who care about it. I mean, this should be something people care about because there's a lot. I forget how to get to it. Oh, there we go. Ugh. I love that Sox Prospects just hasn't updated their site, but sometimes it is frustrating. I mean, look at that list. I mean, look at this. This list is ridiculous. All here. I mean, a lot of them are names that you're probably going to take the chance on. Like Ryan Fitzgerald, you probably take the chance on. Wilkerman Gonzalez is a guy I would heavily consider adding to the 40-man. Gilberto Jimenez is an interesting one. I think you could take a chance on him. A lot of these guys you could take a chance on, right? Noah Song. Do you try and add him to the 40-man roster? And not a lot of these guys together. Drohan. To me, there are 3, right? I think it's Shane Drohan. I think it's Wilkerman Gonzalez. Maybe Garcia here. Lugo, maybe, right? A lot of these guys. AJ Politi, Edinson Paulino's a guy I'd probably talk about. And then these two. And then to me, that's sort of it, right? I would take the chance with a lot of these guys because all of these guys aren't going to get picked up. No shot. A lot of these guys aren't gonna get picked up. But that's just me. Noah Song's back with the Red Sox. If Hamilton is traded and Cesar Byrne aren't involved, I'm changing my name on YouTube. I'm very curious as to what you're going to change the name to. If the Red Sox go to the World Series, how many games will you stream? Every game. If the Red Sox go to the playoffs, we'll be streaming every game. Wish we kept Nasty Nate. We tried to. That's on Nasty Nate. I think Drohan would be an interesting trade bait. Yeah, Drohan could be. Drohan's really interesting to me because we don't really have, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who Craig Breslow values in terms of pitching prospects as potential and who he values as trade pieces. I think it's interesting, Gritty. I think it goes to show just the state of the Padres clubhouse because the talent on the Padres compared to the Giants is worldly different, right? So for Melvin to jump ship, it means there's some real philosophical differences in that clubhouse. And I've heard some things about the Padres clubhouse that's really interesting in terms of them not being able to get along, but it's interesting to me that Melvin's like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, I think Duran will be fine. It'll be interesting to see sort of whether or not what Duran's value is as well. And I don't know if we'll actually get true answers to these, but I think we'll see enough like potential trade proposals to really see sort of what Duran's value is. Because I'm really curious, right? He's 26, turning 27. Hey, QB, how's it going, man? How'd fall ball go? I think it'll be really interesting to see what Duran's trade value is. I'm a big fan of Duran, too. I'd love to keep Duran. Honestly, but do you keep Duran over Rafaela? I think right now they're worth about the same. If anything, I think Duran's worth more. But I think Rafaela could have the higher ceiling. I don't know, though. I don't know. It's a tricky question trying to evaluate. Craig's got a very lucrative opportunity here. He's also got a lot of work to do because you think about, truly, you think about, you got to get pitching down, and that's the big thing. Yes, everyone understands that, but there's a lot more outside of that, right? You need to figure out the right-handed bats in your lineup. You need to figure out your logjam in the outfield. I mean, going in right now, you've got Duran, Massa, Rafaela, Verdugo, Abreu. That's 5 off the rip. Ref Snyder's under contract. That's 6. Roman Anthony's getting closer and closer. I mean, that's 8 guys right there, right? That's 8 guys. You got to figure that out big time, right? That's the biggest part of Craig Breslow's first year, in my opinion, is going to be evaluating talent. You gotta evaluate who you want to keep and who you want to go, and there needs to be some concise decision making. Can't be sort of maybe this guy. You know what I mean? It's got to be okay. This is our pile of keep. This is our pile of trade away. And if we have to flip flop some to get a deal done, fine. But to me, that is hungry like the wolf. That would be hilarious. But yeah, I think that's sort of an underrated piece of what Craig Breslow is sort of walking into right now. Does Craig have almost full control of what trades and buys he makes, or does he need permission from the higher-ups? I would say trading-wise, he has almost full control. In terms of buying, I would venture to guess there are suggestions from ownership, but ultimately, every GM in baseball is constrained. They are the middleman, right? That's what they are. They're a financial advisor, essentially, right? So every GM in Major League Baseball has someone that they're answering to. It's no different with Craig Breslow. I think what the Red Sox are going to do is tell Craig, this is what we're going to let you spend. This is our preferred segments. We want you to spend it on. Go, right? That's kind of my ideas to what's happening. But I could see them coming in. And being, exactly, versatility. That's exactly what I was trying to say. They're going to give them targets. They're going to be like, these are the guys that we think will fully shake up this team. These are the guys we want you to pursue. And this is the budget you have to work with. Field as a team, right? So he does have control and he doesn't have control. Does that make sense, Dave? I know it's a complicated answer, but the front offices in baseballs are complicated. Does he have his choice of GM? From what I'm hearing, yes. In the past, I've found that moves that hurt, i.e. Nomar, having greatly helped the team. What move, if any, do you feel Breslow could make that would initially hurt but be great for the Red Sox future? The one is Verdugo, but if you're talking Nomar caliber trade, but be great. The problem is be great for the Sox future, because right now, right, you don't have that Nomar guy who's already established himself with a decade of, or whatever it was, 6 years of dominance at a position, right? What the Red Sox have is a lot of young, talented players, which is a little bit of a different situation than Nomar, right? So it's hard for me to sit here and say that there's anyone that'd be like Nomar caliber. There's no one that's Nomar caliber. It'd be Rafi, but trading Rafi wouldn't make this team better. Is Breslow's president of baseball, chief baseball operator is what his technical title is. What month do you expect the signings and trades for the Red Sox? I would say pretty quickly early on. I would say trades happen towards the end of November, maybe early December, and then a lot of the big signings, my guess, would be in December. It feels like John Henry just wants to stay under the luxury tax. I mean, he only stayed under the luxury tax 1 year, right? How much say does Cora have in trades and buys? That's an interesting question. I think the overall idea that Alex Cora has control over any of these is a bit overblown. I think, based on what was actually reported and then what was sort of taken out of context by people who already didn't like Alex Cora, was the assumption that Alex Cora is in that front office and he's sitting there, he's going, Craig, buddy, listen, I got John Henry in my back pocket. You're going to do whatever I tell you to do. And if you don't do it, your stay here is going to be miserable, right? I don't think that's what Alex Cora is doing. Here's what I think ownership and what ownership overall means when they say like the input of Alex Cora. I think they value his opinion and they value his sort of outlook on the game and his sort of ability to understand what is best for this team, right? And so what that means, in my opinion, is that he's going to have some say. And what I mean by say is influence, right? He's going to come to Craig sort of the way the ownership is coming to Craig and being like, here's our top targets, here's our budget. But instead, Alex Cora is going to come to Craig and he's going to say, look, man, here's what I think this team needs from a managerial perspective. And the expectation is from Craig is to say, okay, here's what ownership wants. Here's what Cora wants. Let me see what I want, and let's find a way to marry all three, right? And I think that's a little bit of a different conversation than Alex Cora going in there and being like, all right, Craigie boy, I need Yamamoto, I need Teoscar Hernandez, and I need them yesterday. And Craig's just going to sit there and go, sir, yes, sir. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between that. Do you think being the number one sports team in Boston is important to Henry? He has a chance to overtake the Patriots at the moment. I mean, obviously, right? Monetarily, that means a lot. Do I think that it truly means a lot in the grand scheme of things? No, right? I don't think he cares as long as the money's coming in. I think Cora influences the targets. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm talking about, right? I think what Craig's going to find out is that ownership has targets, Cora has targets, and they're going to both say, these are who we prefer. Ultimately, this is up to you. Hey, Corbin, thanks for answering my questions. Got to go now. See you on the next one. Thanks for coming by, Craig. I will see you in the red seats, my good friend. Wow, it's already 9 o'clock. All right, chat. We got about 15 more minutes before we wrap this thing up. Let's get some more questions here. Mawaj is what brings us together today. I don't even know. Did you spell that right, Mike? I don't know what that means. Yeah, the Celtics are the number one sports team in the city right now, I think. Yeah. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. How do I explain... Oh, this will be interesting. How do I explain the new GM hire to my mom who doesn't understand baseball? Wow, that's a great question. It's tough. I would say to think about the Red Sox as a company, right? You have the owner of the company, and then you have the CEO of a company who's in charge of making sure the company runs well and the company has the best employees to function at its highest efficiency, right? Craig Breslow was hired to improve the overall company's efficiency and make them a better company overall in a CEO type role where he chooses the personnel and how the company is run, while the owners who own the company of the Boston Red Sox give him money to do so. All right, Robbie. Hey, man, I appreciate your support today with all that spamming. All right, Tyler. Thank you so much for stopping by and asking questions, my friend. Princess Bride, Andre the Giant, big movie. I've never seen The Princess Bride. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Do you think Devers' defense will be improved, and if so, by how much? I think it will be. Yeah, I think it will be. I think Story being beside him. Here's what I think happened, Andres. To be honest with you, like one of the biggest... I'll answer that question in a second, Versatility. That was funny. I think what happened with Devers this season is that first of all, he figured that because Xander was gone, because Kike was struggling so hard at shortstop, he needed to become the captain of that side of the infield, right? Because forever, Xander Bogaerts was the captain of that side of the infield. And what that did is it put a lot of thoughts in his head, and when he was making errors, it was sort of compiling until it was this huge snowball that just torpedoed his defensive season. So I think going into 24, his mind will be a bit clearer. He'll have Story beside him, which will make it much better. And I think it'll result in a better season for Rafael Devers. By how much? I don't think he'll ever be a league average defender, but I think slightly below league average would be solid for Devers. Sounds like a live stream the Princess Bride is needed. Yeah, if you want me to ruin my channel, we'll do it. If you want me to get banned, we'll do it. Neeb, did that help? By the way, did my explanation help? I feel hope in the air. So do I, like a Rolling Stone, like a complete unknown. Is it? Okay, I know that line, Gritty. I know that line. It's a classic. I'm sure my girlfriend would love to show me The Princess Bride. I'll ask her when I get off. We'll see. All right, chat. Well, if there's no other questions, I think this has been a really productive hot stove. A lot of generosity this stream. Versatility with the 5 gifted. Tim with the donations. Paul with a donation. He didn't answer mine. Griffin, what's going on, my friends? You catching the outro? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could be signed by Craig Breslow? We're taking that woodchuck. He may not be the smallest. He may not be the biggest woodchuck. He may not be the strongest woodchuck. He may not have the biggest teeth, but you know what? Craig Breslow is going to bring him in here. He's going to show him the analytics, how much wood he's been chucking when he's chucking to the left, how much wood he's been chucking when he's chucking to the right, how much wood he chucks when it's wet, how much wood he chucks when he's dry. He's going to give him all that information. And you know what that woodchuck's going to do? He's going to store that information. He's going to digest that information. He's going to come into next season, and he's going to take that information, and he's going to become the best damn woodchucker east of the Mississippi. Did that answer your question, Versatility? All right, guys. I feel like that's a good spot to end. Are you giving? I am, Mike. I think I was. But it's a good spot to end. I'm excited about Breslow. I'm excited about the offseason. I'm excited to stop talking about the GM and all the negativity. And I'm excited to get into what the Red Sox are going to do. I'm excited about all of it. And I appreciate every single one of you that stuck in here throughout the entirety of the live stream, for parts of the live stream, who donated, who sat around. I appreciate every single one of you in here. It was a fantastic live stream. I had a lot of fun. We'll be live in 2 Wednesdays. Wait a second. We might not be live in 2 Wednesdays from now. Let me take a look as to when my anniversary is. Oh, no, we are not going to be live 2 Wednesdays from now. We will probably be live 2 Mondays from now. Yeah, 2 Mondays from now, because I'm not trying to die. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't yet, consider liking, subscribing to the channel. We talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Won't be talking about it tomorrow, but we'll be talking about it Friday. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you all